Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Bagus Mulya Kusuma. I will continue reading the previous material. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Tax incentives. Indonesia offers various tax concession schemes and incentives for business, including tax holiday, inbound investment incentives, reinvestment of branch profits, tax cut for public companies, and tax neutral merger. An example of one is the 50% discount on the corporate tax rate for small business with an annual turnover less than EDR 50 billion, approximately $5 million. Certain requirements need to be fulfilled by business to be considered eligible for such incentives. Please consult your tax advisor for further information. Tax administration. Tax liabilities for a particular period or year must be paid to the state treasury through and designated tax payment bank or bank perception, and then accounted for at the Indonesian tax office through the filing of the relevant tax return. The tax payment and tax return filing for a particular tax must be undertaken monthly or annually, or both, or depending upon the tax obligation in question, and can also be conducted electronically. Corporate tax return must be filed by the end of the fourth month after the end of the financial year, with tax payment having to be completed prior the filing. The deadline for filing corporate tax may be extended by up to 2 months through written notification and tentative tax calculation submitted prior to the deadline to the DGT. Corporate tax can also be arranged to be paid in a prepayment system based on the previous tax year liability. This involves monthly installment of payment to be made by the 10th or 50th of each month, and the end tax return filed by the 20 of the following month. VAT in comparison is a monthly obligation with a tax return filing deadline of the end of the following month and tax payment required prior to this deadline. Late payment of the above tax incur interest penalties at 2% per month, or with even part of a month such as a single day considered to be a full month, at a maximum of 48%. Late filing or failure to file a tax return incurs an administrative penalty ranging between IDR 500,000 or $50 to either 1 million about 100,000 $100. Tax calculation. Taxable business profit are calculated on the basis of normal accounting principle as modified by certain tax adjustment. Generally, a deduction is allowed for all expenditure incurred to obtain, collect, and maintain taxable business profit. A timing difference may arise if an expenditure recorded as an expense for accounting cannot be immediately claimed as a deduction for tax. Tax less, tax losses, tax losses. Losses may be carried forward for a maximum of 5 years. Carrying back of losses is not allowed, and tax consolidation and group relief is not available. Withholding tax. Indonesian income tax is collected mainly through a system of WHT. Individual and corporation, whether resident or non-resident, are subject to WHT levied or levied on various items of income. Please consult your tax advisor for the latest rates and those applicable to your specific business. Transfer pricing. Transaction between related parties must be consistent with the arm's length principle. If the arm's length principle is not followed, the DGT is authorized to recalculate the taxable income or deductible costs arising from such transaction, applying the arm's length principle. Personal income tax. Income tax is levied on both resident and non-resident in Indonesia. A tax resident is regarded as a person usually residing in Indonesia, is present in Indonesia for more than 183 days in any 12-month period, or is present in Indonesia during a fiscal year and intend to reside in Indonesia. These rules, though, may be overridden by provisions of tax treaties. An Indonesian resident taxpayer is subject to tax on income from all sources worldwide at the following rates. Individual tax payments are due by the end of the third month after the year end before filing the tax return. For annual income tax return, taxpayer may extend the filing deadline by up to 2 months. As in corporate income tax, late payment of individual income tax incur interest penalties between 2 48%, while late filing of tax return incur an administrative penalty of IDR 1 million or $100. In addition, dividend received by resident individual taxpayer are subject to maximum 10% final income tax. Non-resident individuals are subject to WHT at 20% on their Indonesia source income. Concessions are available. Consult your tax advisor.
That's all for me. Thank you for listening and watching. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.